What is up, Dallas Cowboys Nation? IndyCarTim here. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Rise and shine. I have no idea if that sounded anything like a rooster like I wanted it to, but I did it anyway. Good morning to you guys. Welcome into another Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast live right here on FanStream Sports and the Fish Report YouTube channel. There's no such thing as a NFL offseason anymore, really. There's so much stuff happening on a daily basis, even in what we used to call the dead period, in between the Super Bowl and the Combine, and then the Combine and the draft, and then the draft and OTAs, and then the OTAs to training camp, then the training camp to preseason to the regular, and here we are again. It's football all year round these days, and I'm here for it. I got no issue with that. We even got some great, at least I guess one great spring league now in the UFL. Dallas team moving to Frisco, right in my backyard. And I'm here for that. Rick Neuheisel, the new head coach of your Dallas Renegades, after Bob Stoops steps down after 5 years, I guess, at the helm. But I digress. We are not here to talk UFL Renegades. We're here to talk Dallas Cowboys. And we've got a spicy one here for you guys today because the Cowboys' edge rush situation is officially on the clock. And we've been talking about it. We've been beefing about it since last year. Because if you watched this defense last season and thought, yep, this team needs some help at edge rusher. Well, congratulations, because you have eyes and you know ball. Dallas needs some juice off the edge, and the front office can no longer duct tape this thing together with hopes and vibes. As I've said many, many times on many, many shows, hope is not an off-season strategy. Hope is not an off-season plan. You got to make some decisions. Sometimes you got to make some tough decisions. And today we're going to talk about some of those tough decisions. We're doing a full off-season blueprint, draft, free agency, trade market, what's real, what's fantasy, and what could actually fix this room. Basically, we're just going to throw a bunch of stuff up against the off-season Cowboys wall and see if it sticks. And how do we know if it sticks? Well, that's up to you. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you guys tell me what you think about it. Before we dive in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. If you're new, drop your edge plan, your edge rush plan in the chat here. A, if you want to draft a first-round edge rusher. B, if you want to spend money in free agency. C, if you want to trade for a star, and we'll talk about all of those. Or D, if you love chaos and you want to do all three. All right, well, let's start with a name that's got Cowboys social media in a tizzy and doing backflips. That is Akheem Mesidor, the prospect, the kind of prospect, the Miami edge rusher. And this guy is one of the toughest evaluations in this entire class. And I get it. When you watch him, you see a complete package. You see a polished rusher. You see active hands. You see an angry motor. And you see counters. And we talk about counters all the time here with an edge rusher. You got to have counters or the league will catch up to you very, very quickly and reduce you to the bench. He's got all of them. And if Dallas takes him with say, pick 20, you're getting a guy potentially who could step in and contribute at least on passing downs just about immediately. And that's the selling point. He's not raw. He looks ready. But here are the red flags. He's older for a prospect. He's 24. He's going to be 25 years old on April 5th, 2 days before I turn double nickel. Yep, it's happening this year. I'm ready for it. And his age matters for a couple of reasons. Number one, your rookie contract timeline gets kind of weird with his actual age. And two, and this might be the bigger issue, How much of his dominance in college, especially last year, was because it's a grown man versus teenager scenario? And that's a real thing. And in the NFL, obviously, he's not going to be playing against teenagers. He's going to be playing against guys older than him and more on his, what we think level of talent is, and strength and conditioning. And then there's an injury history. I don't like betting first-round capital on availability concerns because, of course, as Jerry says, the best ability is availability. I screwed that one up. And you can't rush the passer from the trainer's room. So my take on Mesidor is if Dallas thinks that he is 100% healthy, if Dallas thinks that his tape is 100% real, then I could talk myself into it. But if you're picking at 20 and you want a clean profile, I don't think Mesidor is clean. He's a gamble with a high floor, but also an equally high loud warning label, so to speak. Would I be mad if they selected him there? Depends on what they did at 12. Would I be mad if they didn't? No. Now let's talk free agency. Let's talk the top shelf of free agency. Trey Hendrickson is the one guy on the market you can call an edge one, but he's not cheap, he's not young, and you're going to pay for sacks, and you're going to pay for sacks right now. If Dallas goes that route, they're basically saying we're trying to win right now, and we will deal with the kickback financially down the road. Then you have Odafe Oweh. He's younger. He's athletic. He's a little more intriguing to me. But he's going to be expensive for what he's been. That's kind of your free agency tax. You're basically paying for the player you hope he can become. Then you've got some guys that are in the one-year rental aisle category. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. Both can still play. Both can still rush the quarterback. Both come with age and durability questions. With Bosa, you're going to have to manage him, I think, all season long. With Mack, kind of the same thing at 35. And if you're just renting guys, I'd rather rent smart and keep some flexibility. Don't know that I'm interested in either one of these guys unless you've got a young up-and-comer already that you know can already play to sort of be the standby there. And then there's some value plays, and let's be honest, this is kind of the Cowboys' comfort zone, I think, in the past, sort of the mid-tier signings where you're trying to win with a fit and a role player. We're talking like a reunion with Jadeveon Clowney. I wouldn't hate it. Especially if you're building a rotation and you're not asking him to be the guy. I don't have a problem with bringing back Jadeveon Clowney. Dante Fowler on another short deal. I think familiarity matters. And you know what you're getting. Situational heat with Dante Fowler Jr. And then here's a name I really like in this situation. It's Kyle Van Noy. He's played really, really well in Baltimore the last couple of seasons. I believe he led the team in sacks a couple of years ago. And he's going to be a cheap, early down, go out and do your job veteran. And that's the kind of boring move that quietly helps your defense survive the season. He's done it in Baltimore when a lot of people wrote him off before he signed there. And if you can buy a low-cost edge who's still in his prime years, that would be a huge prize because Dallas needs, don't forget, 2 edge rushers, not just one. And then there's trades, and this is where fans and everybody gets reckless, and I respect it. I love it. Everyone is screaming Max Crosby. We've talked about Max Crosby, but a Crosby trade isn't just picks. It is also, of course, the monster contract that will follow, and you better be sure about his fit, and you better be sure about his workload. The more realistic trade angles, guys who are currently buried on a roster somewhere who want snaps, who want contracts, guys who want to move up a depth chart and they're not in a spot to do it on their current team. I have names for you, but that's the kind of player I think that the Cowboys would also be targeting. I want a bigger role on my team, air quotes, type of pass rusher. I don't know how many of those are that are out there, but that's certainly something the Cowboys would do. So how does Dallas fix this? What's the actual blueprint? So here's the plan that I think makes the most sense. You add a veteran pass rusher in free agency, not necessarily the most expensive, but someone who can play now. You draft one in the first round. I would say you draft one in the first couple of rounds, but don't forget the Cowboys have no second or third round picks. If the Cowboys had a second-round pick, I would say this is your second-round pick, whoever you think it is. But alas, no second-round pick, so it's got to be one of your first-round picks, I think, or one of your 2 first-round picks. Somebody with an upside and a well-defined role early on. Or 3, fill the rotation with value. Again, you go back to the Clowney, the Fowler, the Kyle Van Noy, plus a developmental guy. Because if you only add one pass rusher this offseason, you did not fix the problem. You just changed the conversation, I think. All right, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys fans, your turn. That's what I think. That's what I've got. Did anything that I say that I threw up against the proverbial Cowboys offseason wall just now, did any of that stick for you? If you're running the war room, what's your move? Mesidor at 20? Pay Hendrickson? Gamble on Oweh? Rent Bosa or Mack? Or swing a trade? Drop it in the chat. Subscribe. And we'll talk about it again down the road. But we will most certainly talk some more Dallas Cowboys tomorrow, right here on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast live. I'm IndyCarTim. Until then, boys and girls, have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you.